So today we're going to be talking about the 5 things that people do wrong in the crypto market when they're new to investing. The 5 things that they do that could possibly lose them everything. Or if they did them right, could make them everything. Stay tuned if you want to learn more about that. But if you're here, please like and subscribe below if you like content that is about news, strategy, tips, tricks, financial analysis, technical trading, charts. You have it all right here at the Breck Advisory. So one thing people do wrong is they tend to chase the market around trying to make buys, purchase decisions based on where the market's at. And they look at their chart and they're like, oh my gosh, I think I understand what's going on here. Looks like 37,813 is going to be the price based on what's going on. It might be the lowest price because earlier today I saw this, but they failed to zoom out. They failed to look at data. You know, it's never a good idea to chase the market around. We don't know what's going to happen next, honestly. And what you want to do instead is what you can see I have going on down here is I have strategic buy positions sitting in the market for 36,426, 34,427, 32,815. If the market dips down to these levels, I'm going to have some buys. And you can see as the market's been coming down, I've been dollar cost averaging, which is a simple concept. It's just buying either on the way up or buying on the way down. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You don't just make one strategic move and buy everything all at once. I buy things in little chunks. So if you do this the right way, you're going to have a lower cost of entry. And really, buying high and selling low, we'll talk about that in a minute, is what most people do because they're busy chasing around the market. I'll give you an example of that right here. So let's just say that, oh, I want to buy in the market. I'm going to set a limit order. I'm going to price it out. Let's say I want to buy 0.10 Bitcoin, and I want to buy it at 37,825, 815. So I put in 37,815 and look, it's already dropped to 37,797. So I go in to put in my order for 37,797 and I go to place my order and oh, it's already dropped again. It's already down to 37,792. Okay, so this is great. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just put in an order for 37,750. Okay, and that may not trigger. It's a better strategy than just trying to chase those numbers around. You don't know how far it's going to go. So what I like to do is I like to pre-plan, and this is why I use Coinbase Pro as opposed to Coinbase, because I can set limit orders. So I can actually have orders active in the market, and you can see those 3 right here are active in the market. What I like to do is maybe just put an order in today for 37,255. Nah, 256. I know I like to work with weird numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that buy order in there. And guess what? There it is. You can see it just popped onto my screen. Now I have 4 open orders in the market. So never chase the market around. It's just a bad idea. That's tip number 1.
So the second mistake I see people making a lot is they don't know how to properly secure their tokens. They have them in hot storage, so they use Coinbase, they use KuCoin, they use Gemini, they use Crypto.com, and they just keep a lot of crypto sitting in their Coinbase or whatever account that they're using, and they don't secure it properly. So I've actually created a video up here on how to secure your crypto, at least if you're in Coinbase. All these methods can apply to other exchanges. But for specifics around Coinbase, I don't want to go into it in this video because it's too much. It's such an important topic because you guys have worked really hard to build up your portfolio, so that the last thing you want to do is give up those gains to somebody else, right? In other words, somebody stealing your crypto out of your account because you didn't properly secure it. So please don't make that mistake. So the third thing people do is that they go and they look at a chart and they see this incredible meteoric rise that happened. Just looks like it just happened yesterday and it's coming up here. And most people will try to jump in and time this and they'll chase it, kind of similar to step number 1. But what they'll do is they'll buy it right about here and they'll start getting scared. We don't know where this is going to go, but right now they're getting a little nervous because they maybe bought at the peak. And a lot of people do buy market peaks when they're chasing. And then if this thing were to fall off the cliff and come down here, they would go ahead and sell it. It's classic buy high, sell low, emotional investing, not having a plan, not having goals set in your investment strategy, and not knowing market cycles. You would learn all that if you were watching our channel. There's some great videos on charting and how to follow that stuff. And I'm going to give you an example of one right up here that you can take a look at and give you an idea of the type of analysis that's necessary to try to make an educated prediction about where things are going to go. If you're making emotional decisions based on the fact that you see a market going up quickly, you're going to get burned. It's just all there is to it. People do it all the time. We see this mistake being made all the time, and then emotionally they jump in and out of that market, and it's not good because you'll end up losing more than you make if you're emotionally trading and you don't have boundaries set on your trading. And time is your friend. A lot of people freak out because they hear news and they jump out of a market because they heard something, like Elon Musk just said something negative. Oh my God, the market's going down, it's going to crash. Believe me, I've been here in my early stages, middle stages, and even my late stages. You have to resist the temptation of emotionally trading. And when you don't emotionally trade and you trade with a plan and you have metrics in mind and goals set in mind, and you look at the data and you do the analysis, guess what? You make much better trades, and the probability of your success goes much, much higher. So that's what we want, and that's what we educate people to do here at the Breck Advisory, is to make better informed decisions, to look at yourself and ask yourself, am I making the best possible decision to make the most money here? Or am I going to do something that's going to cause me a loss? So generally what happens is people will buy in here, and the next day the market goes straight down, and they freak out and they sell. So don't be one of those. And so the fourth thing that people do is they put in more money than they can afford to lose. I mean, this is a very classic thing that people do. They think, wow, crypto's going up. I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to plow as much money as I can into it. And then all of a sudden crypto goes down. They freak out, like I said in mistake number 3, and they sell everything at a loss. And now they don't have enough money to pay their bills, their mortgage, their food, their groceries, their utilities, because they went all in. A lot of people do this, and they'll even go a step further. They'll leverage. So the temptation here is that you think the market's going to go up, so you get 10x leverage called margin. And you see this on like KuCoin, makes it really, really easy. They have like 10x right next to a trade. And you're like, oh, wow, I'd love to make 10x on my investment. So bam, they hit that 10x button. KuCoin gives them a little bit of a flash loan so they can get in there. But here's the big problem with that. If you're right, it's awesome. But the big problem is if you're wrong and it goes down and it goes down just a little bit, KuCoin has the right to go ahead and liquidate, to recover its loan, and they're going to do it at a significant loss to you. They're not going to call you and say, hey, is it okay if I take this money or you take your crypto and sell it? No, they're only worried about protecting their asset, which is the money that they lent you. And a lot of people get burned by this. And when you're 10xing, whatever your loss is 10x your loss. So please, especially if you're a newer investor, I wouldn't even recommend it if you're an advanced investor, but the experts and pros use leverage. I get it. They're probably really good at that, or they're manipulating the market. Who knows what their capabilities are? But I think for 99% of us, stay the hell away from leverage and using that 10x or 100x or whatever, even 2x. You can't afford to lose it. So do not put more money into the market than you can afford to lose, and definitely do not leverage. Okay, so the fifth thing I see people doing that is wrong is that they buy cheap cryptos. cheap new cryptos, generally speaking. So yeah, not everyone can afford $40,820 Bitcoin or $2,700 Ethereum, right? But people can afford $1.38 Cardano, which actually this is one that I own personally because it's cheap. But I've done the research on it quite a bit, and I've done a lot of homework, and I personally believe in that cheap crypto. And certainly it's up to you if you want to believe in that. I'm not giving you financial advice here today. But they go down and they look at things like Doge, Doggy Coin, and they're looking at that and they're going, 20 cents, I could own a ton of those. Or they scroll down quite a bit in their list and they find that they have things like ZRX, LPT, let's see, 1inch. And they just like start putting money in these things. I've done it. I've done it in my early stage, and you lose money in these things because sometimes they go to zero. Something changes, and there's a lot of these things that are out there that make no sense. They're hyped on the news one day. Somebody says they love them, whether that be Elon Musk or somebody else that says, "Oh, I'm really into the Doge." But look what happened with Mark Cuban. He got burnt. He bought that stuff more expensive, and now he's screaming and crying out there as of a month ago saying, oh, this all needs to be regulated. Well, Mark, you bought a coin that was based on a meme. I have a friend that believes that the Dogecoin is going to go up quite a bit. He's a really good guy, and he understands marketing, and I think that Doge is doing a great job of marketing, and maybe he's right. But I don't want to buy something based on whether or not it's marketed properly. I want to buy something that's based on fundamental, sound technology and has a future. It actually provides some type of value. A lot of people talk about, well, what's the value of Bitcoin or what's the value of these cryptos? Well, if you understand the underlying technology of a lot of these cryptos like Ethereum and what it's doing and how it's going to disrupt the entire financial system, or Cardano, for example, or XRP. These things are very disruptive, and they're going to be the next thing that happens in the marketplace, in my opinion. And the financial system is going to radically shift and change as a result of that. And XRP, Cardano, Ethereum are all going to be center stage at that point. I cannot say the same thing for 1inch. I cannot say the same thing for Mana. I cannot say the same thing for Kyber Networks. I can go on and on and on. Great coins and bad coins get put on exchanges all the time. I think Coinbase actually does a pretty good job of kind of vetting a lot of these things, or they co-invest into the ones that they bring into their exchange. So they have, they have a big hand in what's going on here. But at the same time, you have to do your homework, and you have to, not put all your eggs into one of these altcoins that you heard, is being hyped like Doge. So if you put in money in Doge at 60, 70 cents recently, well, I'm sorry to say you've lost 3 or 4 times your money recently. I'm not sure what the future of Doge is. I own Doge just because I always will put a teeny bit into something like a Doge coin that's getting a lot of hype, and there is a potential that hype may come true, but I have an exit strategy on Dogecoin. And also, I will say I own Doge at 20 cents. A lot of people don't own Dogecoin. I also owned Doge when it was down under 10 cents. So anyhow, if you're going to do it, and you look at your overall portfolio, let's say you have $10,000 that you're investing, or let's use 1,000 for example, and put a majority of that money into mainstream coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum, where that there's not a guarantee, but a better future and a more sound foundation for those coins. And then take, maybe somewhere between 1 and 5% of your total portfolio. So let's say $50 if you're investing $1,000, and put some of that into those low cost coins. It can't hurt you, and do it all relative to what you're willing to risk and what you're willing to lose, right? Always look at it, especially if you're putting in high risk coins. always look at it and say to myself, okay, well, if this goes to zero, no big deal. I only put $50 into it. That $50 is not going to change my life. I can make that this afternoon at work, or tomorrow at work, or this weekend, if I sell X, Y, and Z. So that's the fifth and most, all of these are important, but I think that's a really important one because a lot of these altcoins that are very speculative will most likely go to zero before they go to 100 or 1000x. And if they do go to 100x, chances are it happens very quickly and then it falls off the cliff and you miss that opportunity, because as things go up and you own something, a lot of people like to hold on, and then boom, they watch this whole thing fall apart and they had no exit strategy. And they watch it and they ride it all the way back down to either what they bought it at or worse, less than what they bought it, or the worst, which is down to zero. So if you've been watching this video and you feel like you got some value out of it, please do me a favor and click the like button below. It's great if you make comments. I actually get very involved with responding to people who comment, and we have a good dialogue, especially if you have questions. I'm happy to answer your questions and point you in the right direction. Absolutely happy to do that. So please leave a comment. And then finally, if you would, please subscribe, because when you subscribe, you get access to all these types of videos that we make, not just this one, but you get notifications that the next one's coming out. And I want to make sure that you're not missing out on any of the great information that we provide here at the Breck Advisory, so you too can be a successful crypto investor.